What? Hey guys. Fuck you.
No, it's
Nah,
gonna be both
kidding.
of us.
Oh, you want it to be both of us?
We can just say hi, and then you can do the
intro?
introduction. Yeah. Hi.
Oh.
Oh. Hey. Hi. Hey.
Hey
Hi.
guys. Welcome back to Unplugged,
Yes.
where we unplug everything.
The last time I didn't know what the topic was, so we
Yeah.
just kind of jumped in and went balls to the wall.
Yeah, I know, guys.
And now it's the opposite.
We talked about a lot,
We did.
and he didn't know what we were gonna talk about. And so today I was like, so you're gonna have to figure out the topic for this one.
Yeah.
That's my cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy. And
You ready?
ooh,
Okay.
what are we gonna talk about today?
There's this word that goes around that no one ever talks about, and it's called 20-somethings. Have you ever heard of that?
20 something.
Like living in your 20-somethings.
Oh yeah. Oh, like that show?
There's a show.
That one that was based in Austin. It was called 20 something.
20-somethings. Yeah, or like 20, whatever.
20 something.
Okay, and no one ever talks about how difficult or what the journey is living through your 20s.
Yeah.
And-
wait, it's crazy. Whoa.
And that's what I want to talk about today. I want
Remember
to
I
talk about
just
like,
talked about that
did we?
in the car? About a certain year that I just never
Oh,
bring up.
yeah.
Well, we'll bring
But
it
like, it's the whole process of your 20s. Like, basically, like, I kind of just want to dive into that.
I'm down.
And I feel like there's this like overwhelming sense of like anxiety people get when you're in your 20s, and I know I felt it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Shit, I even felt that when I was when I was 19.
No,
And
yeah.
it's like when you get into your 20s and you live through your 20s, you feel like it almost feels like everyone wants you to have it all figured out, and sometimes you don't,
Mhm.
and that's okay. And sometimes it's even better when you don't have it figured out because it leads you to these things you never thought you would find. You know?
That's true that you say that, because I don't know if you remember me, but whenever I first moved to college, I felt like I had to go off of my plan that I had.
Mm-hmm. You did.
And it was like, no,
Not
if
gonna
it's
happen.
not going the way it has to go, I do not want it. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you were the one that told me, or just in general, I had to realize
Mm-hmm.
not everything's going to go as planned. Not everything is
And I think that's what happened in my 20s a lot. I would make these plans or ideas like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And-
Because even it all starts with choosing what you're going to do right after high school.
Yeah.
You know, you're so pressured on what are you going to do when you grow up? What college are you going to go to? What profession are you going to have? What job
Yeah.
are you going to do?
It's crazy. I swore I thought I was going to be in stenography.
Really? In the medical
Yeah.
field?
Wait, did you say the oil field?
The medical field? I said the medical field.
Medical field. I heard oil field. Oh,
No.
boy, what I look like being in the oil field.
Imagine. Hey, they make good money.
They do.
If you live in the oil field, if you work in the oil field, hit me up.
Yeah, please do though.
Yeah,
Sign
honestly,
me up.
because we are not trying to keep working. No, I'm kidding.
Hate daddy.
But no, yeah, I even growing up, I always thought I was going to be I wanted to be a vet growing up, and then moving to. That was so rude. No, I'm kidding. Growing up, when I went to college, I thought I was gonna be a nurse.
Yep, I feel that.
I never went to nursing school. Never
So
went to
true,
nursing
though.
school.
And it's crazy because like, God has a plan. It's just not your plan.
They say if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Because it's true.
Wild. Yeah. And
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows exactly why he's doing things,
Yeah.
and it happens for a reason. And this is what you little fucker.
It's wild how he.
Guys, I have an orange cat. I'm gonna leave it there. Look it up on TikTok.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
But it's fun. I like the topic that he picked today because where was I going with this? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. It was good too.
I feel
Fuck.
that. But yeah,
The fucking cat.
it is a good topic to discuss because there's,
I'll be able to cut all this off too, because
Yeah.
we're just like but it's okay.
there's
um
there's so many things that we can discuss to this, and I feel like it's a fun one.
It is a fun one. It is a fun one. And I was just
Yeah.
going to say something. Oh, when you just said it is hard navigating through your 20s because it's just, I feel like it's a rerun of your freshman year. You have to know where you're going to fit in, what you're going to do. I feel like
Yeah.
freshman year of high school, you were trying to see where you're going to fit in,
Yeah.
where your spot was going to be in high school. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of how life is after high school. It's like what path are you going to take?
Yep.
Who's going to be in that path with you?
Yeah.
And I don't know if somebody once told me this or I seen it on a video or something, but it's God is never going to give you something that you're not ready for.
Yeah.
And he knows when you're ready for it.
Mm.
So
true. And you know what I will say too? People come into your life as a blessing or like lesson. And
That's true.
I think that's something I learned over time, especially
Yeah.
as of like now going through my 20s. It's like
mhm.
that's definitely something I picked up on. And once I was taught that once, and I remember that for like the rest of my life. And it's been an important thing to kind of keep to me because it's like you're always going to be learning as you go through things. And it's it's not just with people, but like it's everything you go through is either going to be a lesson or a blessing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like if you're not learning, even to this day, if you're not learning in life,
You're not growing.
you're not growing. You're not
Yeah.
evolving.
Yeah.
You're not doing any of the things that you should be doing to become a better person because you always, every day, you want to be a better you. You want to be better
Yeah.
than you were yesterday.
Yeah. I kind of want to ask you, like, what was that? I was going to ask a question. Oh.
Yes, I'm gay.
You're gay. Oh my God. He just came out, everybody. But I was going to ask you, in all seriousness, when did you learn to like drop things and like, how do they say it? Let go and let God? When did you feel like I just need to like not worry about it, whatever it is that I'm going through, and I just need to like let things follow, like fall where they may. I feel like that's been me more recently in this past 3 years than ever. Like I feel like throughout my 20s, I always like if it didn't go as planned, or I'm going through the plan and it's not making me happy emotionally and physically and like mentally, I would have these like breakdowns. I would have this like stress, or like I would feel like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Like this is not what I thought. It's not what I want to do. Like I would freak out. And now when these things happen, I'm kind of just like, okay,
it's gonna work itself out.
It's gonna work itself out.
I think I love the question because, like I said, when I first moved to San Antonio for college, that was my mindset, and I hate to say it, but I feel like it roots from your parents being very not pushy, but like they want what's best for you.
Yeah.
So I get it, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But it's like you're pushing it too much on me. Like you're making me stress out.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like that roots from that. So like moving out here, I just knew like I had this plan of like, I'm going to become a nurse. I'm going to nursing school. I'm going to do it like this. And I was just that like that, but growing
The swallowing.
growing up
Yeah.
in college and like just going through a lot of personal stuff with friends,
Yeah.
with relationships, with just everything and anything, so much was just falling apart. My plans were falling apart. And so I not quickly realized it. It took a lot for me to realize it, but there was a point in like 2017 where I was like, okay, it's not.
Okay.
And that's when I like didn't surrender, but I did say like, okay, maybe that plan that I had is not my plan. It's not God's plan.
Yeah.
It was my plan.
Yeah. I feel that.
And that's why I ended up quitting school. I ended up dropping out of college, and I told my mom that I was going to go be a dental assistant, and like switched my everything. I ended up leaving San Antonio after almost
sad.
4 years.
You remember so off topic. Do you remember the last day you were there and we were crying. We were driving, listening to music.
Yes.
We were by North Star Mall.
Yes.
And
Oh, my eyes are water.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm a crier. So like this is it.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to be crying a lot in this podcast, or not in this podcast, but just in general. In this, like in the podcast itself.
I remember us crying so much
I
because
know.
it felt like the end.
Yeah. And
but it was just the end of a chapter. It wasn't the end of like everything.
true, but then you do.
Like the story continues.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
That's true.
Because a lot of times whenever friends do move away,
yeah,
we lose connection.
We do.
Because we grow up, life happens and stuff like that. Because I had a friend that, my roommate.
my
roommate, Milo. I mean, no ill intent. We're cool with each other, but we don't talk to each other. And we lived together for 3 years.
So
he was
funny.
the best,
the
best roommate I have ever had. And I don't think I'd ever have a roommate because of that. Because no one will ever be able to top him. Like,
yeah, I
only topped him. I'm so glad we both
we thought that. Oh my god, that is.
We both had that. Wow. No,
yeah,
but
it makes sense, and I get that. I genuinely really do get that.
And so I'm so glad that our friendship did stick even after me moving. But yeah, I think that's whenever I let go and let God. But I will say, and I feel like
I've been breathing so hard on this thing this whole time.
You'll never be able to just like let go and let God always. I feel like in the back of your head, you're always gonna have that sense of like, I have to have some type of control in your life. And yes, let go and let God, but you can't let God do all of your work.
I'm glad you said that, because I will never forget. I once had a conversation with one of my besties, and we were talking about that, and when we were talking about just that topic in general, she did say that like God will show you, but he's not just going to give it to you. Like you have to like kind of guide yourself, and he'll keep guiding you through it as well. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes.
And I feel like that I held on to that, and I always kind of remember like I am in control, but things are going to fall where they may.
Mm-hmm.
And when those things fall, or however they land, I just got to remember that I got to have trust in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got to trust in God. Trust in the people that love me. And I think that's where I kind of started learning the whole, like, just kind of living through it.
Yeah.
Because, man, there were so many moments where I would cry or I'd freak out because something didn't go as planned. But I think nowadays I'm more just kind of living through and kind of just trusting.
Yeah, because one does stress out a lot, and it's just like, bro, just let it go.
That's true. That is so true.
And this is another area in my life where I started doing that whole, I have a plan and it needs to go this way.
Yeah.
And I think it was even worse than it was in college. But guys, a lot of people don't know, but in 2018 I moved to Houston on a fucking blimp. Just a
whim.
That I used the wrong word.
No, it's the same thing. It's like a sparkle of dust.
Literally, I had no plan.
You see that video on TikTok, so sorry, where it's like, I didn't eat my snacks last night after my dinner, so if you hear someone waving to you, it's just, if you see a sparkle of dust, it's me waving to you.
Oh wow.
I love that.
I know. I texted my cousin the other day, and I was like, "Hey, can you help me find my waist? I can't find it."
I love that though.
But guys, in 2018 I moved to Houston on a whim, like he said, and no plan.
Yep.
No money saved. No. The only thing
making me stress out. Yeah.
The only thing I had set up was my job, and only because they transferred me from the job that I had to like another office out here. Right. So it was like really easy for me. Yeah. But thankfully, everything else was just so bad, guys. And I went through a really hard depression, and I was just telling him earlier in the car, this is the 2018 when I moved here to Houston it's something I never talk about. 2018, the year 2018 is non-existent for me, and no one knows my story. No one knows everything that I went through. I mean, you do, obviously. And the roommate that I had.
Yeah.
But guys, it was a really, really hard, dark time for me. And then, again, there was a time where I'm just like, I'm gonna just let go, see what God has for me, see what God, God's plans are. Literally, guys, after 2 years, then COVID happened, and look where we're at now.
Yeah, it's
so crazy.
It is so crazy. I was just about to say that like, isn't it weird how like, apparently, like, obviously, like, when that happened, it was like tough, like, nor should anyone go through the things that you went through. But isn't it crazy how those things are what like also pushed you to be where you are today as well?
Yeah,
like there was like this transition in you from that moment on, where like you changed the way you see relationships, you changed the way you see friendships, you changed the way you see work, you changed the way you manage yourself, like all those things. Like, man, you're motherfucking Kris Jenner.
He has a point, guys, because when I lived out here, well, even before living out here, moving to college, San Antonio really corrupted me, and I think that's because, and I don't mean it in a very bad way. Yeah. A lot of my closest and best friends are still the OGs that I met in San Antonio. Yeah, and so,
and we proved that. We proved that last week.
We sure did, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, we don't have to get too deep into it.
Actually, I will tell you the story at the end of this episode. So yeah, you have to stay to the end of the episode to know the story. And that proves that story that we're gonna talk about. It proves who your real friends are, no matter what. But going back to what I was gonna say, San Antonio really did corrupt me.
Yeah,
like. Yes, we hung out all the time.
Yeah.
But I also was influenced just by a lot of people, and the area that I lived in was very accessible to parties and just the people that I also was hanging out with, not with the circle of like Nate. I had other friends too.
Yeah.
But I started going out at the age of 18. I had a fake ID.
Yeah, you
for
did.
Like 3 or 4 years. I was 21 for 3 years.
Yeah.
so
That's wild.
I partied a lot.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy because in that stage, I was so against it for myself.
Oh, yeah. He would never drink.
I can't.
He would never drink. He was so scared.
Yeah.
He was scared.
My frontal lobe developed.
Yeah. So, sorry guys. I hope you didn't hear that. And then like fast forward to now, or fast forward to 2018, like you said, it helped me work on a lot. I was still going out so much in 2018 when I was living over here, and it's like I wasn't managing my money right. I was literally always fucking broke. Couldn't pay my bills because I was always going out.
Yeah.
But then I could barely afford to go out.
Yeah. So it was like,
and then it's just like
magic. You grew it on a tree.
Right. And then also too, like I got into a really big depression, and I would literally call into work. I would not go to work.
Yeah.
I would just not go to work. And then again, I didn't have money to pay my bills. But I feel like, boy, do that shit again. I'm gonna throw that shit.
It's just I want to know how that sounds.
Guys, if you're listening to this, he's just drinking water. But funny. No, it really did push me, but that's what I mean about God is not going to give you something you're not ready for.
Yeah,
I feel like if He would have gave me the success that I have now within my business, I would still be in the same situation that I am now.
Yeah,
I feel like I had to learn how to manage my money, how to manage my time, how to see life in a different way. I feel like I was still too young. And I was still too like into the parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And until I was like, okay, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I think that's when I hit like not my rock. Well, no, I will say I think that was my rock bottom.
I think that was like a turning point.
Yeah, because honestly too, and you even said it. You were like, weren't you about to quit photography? I was, guys. In 2018, the business just wasn't happening. 2019, I was like, okay, I need to figure something out. Like, am I gonna go back to school? Am I going to stay being a dental assistant and just live at my mom's? Or like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then like I just worked all of 2019, and I told myself,
there was a year when you went quiet.
2019.
That was the year.
It was 2019 because I told myself, I was like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep working and then go to school to be a hygienist, and that's going to be my career. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that happened.
Yeah.
Because within that, in 2020, everything closing down, the club stopped, the drinking stopped, the hanging out with friends stopped.
Yeah.
And
it was a change.
It was
a big change.
It was a pivot in my life, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I could say the same, honestly.
I think it was for everybody. Well, it depends on
who you ask, to be honest.
It honestly depends on everybody, because a lot of people had, unfortunately, bad pivots in their life. You know, they lost a lot of people in their life because of COVID, or, you know, a lot of people lost their jobs, or they just weren't fortunate enough to be able to get the help that they were giving out during COVID, and they still had to work. And a lot of people weren't getting paid extra, and all these, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, there was.
Thankfully, I could say, and even you as well, I feel like we could say that our COVID, I feel like, to me, I'm thankful for COVID.
Yeah.
I hate that a lot of people, unfortunately, didn't make it.
Yeah.
But in my life, there was such a turn in my life that I'm just like, I needed this. I needed someone to close me in and make me think. And reevaluate my life.
I think everyone was in a position of reevaluating themselves. I definitely did go through that, I will say. Now, it's tough for me to like think about 2020 because 2020 was just a hard year in general. But I think overlooking it, like from where I was in 2020 till now, I'm like, dang, like COVID putting me in a room, like it literally like made me rethink the things I wanted to do. I changed my career.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it serious. And I still took it not as serious, but like I did. Like I jumped into it. Never forget, TC1 was the first brand I worked with. And I just talked about this with you. I made them like over 30,000. Remember that? But yeah.
Imagine it's all Vicks.
But that was one of the first brands that I worked with. And I remember seeing how much money I made them. And I was thinking like, dang, like if I did this with them, like I can continue this with like other people, and I can just really take off of this. And it kind of put me in a position where like I want to do this more. And in 2020, because I was like stuck in my room, it allowed me to have that time to like do it.
Yeah.
So I was able to like focus on what I wanted to do. And from then on, I just grew in the way I.
And I think that again, that all falls back on like just letting everything happen the way it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Stop controlling. Stop trying to maneuver things around. If it's happening the way it's happening, let it happen, and it's gonna all work out at the end. Because even with me, like in 2020, I decided, I was like, you know what? The money that we're getting from the government right now, I saved a lot of that money and I invested it back into my photography. And I told myself, and I remember telling my mom too, I was like, Mom, we're going to give this another go. Yep. I'm going to move to Houston again. I'm going to do it right this time.
Yeah.
It's like, I have enough money to move.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a job before going out there, and I have a plan.
You took advantage of your opportunity.
I did. And in 2020, I moved in with my sister, and I told my sister, give me 3 months and I'm moving out. And I did. I moved out. I moved down to my sister's house, got an apartment.
Yeah.
And the rest is fucking history.
No, legit. Ever since then, you've kind of just been doing your own thing.
Hold on, guys. Yeah, I moved, and honestly, my life took a turn for the better.
Yeah.
My life took a turn for the better, and couldn't be happier. Honestly, guys. Crazy.
The risk was worth it. And I think that's one thing you got to remember when you're in your 20s. Like, take the risk. It's worth it.
Take the risk.
You know, there's this one thing that I saw. And it was a TikTok. And I don't know how many seasons of Friends there are. Okay.
I never watched it.
Me either. And don't judge me for that. I've never watched Friends. I've seen snippets of it, you know, like the bloopers and stuff. Like, it's cute and all. But this girl was saying, like, explaining like this, like the summary of what Friends is, and was saying that like that's like your life, okay? And if there's 10 seasons of Friends, and you're in your 20s, even mid 20, late 20s, doesn't matter. You're still on your second season of life. And it's kind of crazy to think that, like, we're in our 20s and we're in the second season of our life, going on to our third season, just as if it's like a show. And it's so early.
That's crazy.
So early.
I know. That's crazy.
You look at a show on Netflix and you're like, oh, only 3 seasons? I could do that.
That is crazy.
So if you think about it, like, you're still in your early stages of, like, discovering yourself and being yourself. And though we think we know who we are today, our future self is laughing at us right now.
No, honestly. Yeah. Honestly.
So it's like, that's cool to think.
Do you feel like you did everything in your 20s that you wanted to do? Do you have any regrets of what you didn't do?
I don't have no regrets, but I think there's more. I think there's always something we're going to think that you can do. If there's any advice that I've given anybody that's in their late teens, early 20s, or whether it's like 1 year apart, 2 years, 4 years, 9 years, doesn't matter. I think the advice I've given is like, try to live life fearlessly. Like, yes. I promise you so much that, like, you want to do it without, like, so much thought on, like, what are people going to say or think. Like, just do it. Just do it, because no one's ever getting any younger. Like, today's the oldest. Like, every second that goes by, you're the oldest and the youngest you'll ever be. And it's like, and that's crazy to think. And it's like, you need to take that time to, like, just do you, live fearlessly. Don't worry about it. Like, it will get you where you actually want to be, like, in life. And nothing's ever that far or impossible. Like, even though things seem impossible, they're really not. Like, that's what everyone else who's in, like, the position they're in, like, will say. And it's like, no, like, success doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen, though.
You ain't lying.
You know?
I'm like, you are not lying.
So it's like, take that and run with it.
Literally, guys, it's taken me 7 years. Yeah,
and it's like, but like where you are though, like that risk was worth it.
Yeah, honestly.
Even on the time like you thought you were gonna quit, like it's still worth it. Because all of it like guides you to like this confident you today that says, I can do it. Yeah. And ask anybody who has made $1 million. They've all probably have been broke before. Like if you ask someone who's rich, have you ever been broke? They're gonna be like, absolutely.
And I think we're not gonna talk about finances, but I'm gonna just point. You made a point. The more money you make, it's not that you're being stingy. I don't say I'm being stingy, but the more money I started making, the more I was careful on where my money was going. I need to know where every cent in my bank account is going. Yep. And I think that all just stems from being broke at one point. You're just like, I don't want to get to that point again. So it's like, now I got to be careful where my money is going because the more you make, the more you spend, and the bigger bills you have.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I'll never forget one time. It was years ago. I think like literally like before the pandemic happened. But like I'm talking about like
guys, I think it's the cat.
Maybe before the pandemic happened, I
don't know why my nose is itching.
It's like itching. I remember having $5 in my bank account and like wanting to cry and thinking like, this is not okay. I can't have this keep on happening.
Well, same with me. I don't know if you remember. I know I've told you, like when I was in college, and I was so bad on my payments. Yeah. My just paying my car, paying just everything, guys.
Little things, yeah.
Yeah. Like
it's crazy.
Having only like $2 in my bank account because I was just spending on bullshit.
I will say, like for you, it was a little different compared to us because like you were out here like living by yourself and you had some support from your mom, but like at the end of the day, though, you were still out here having to manage everything yourself.
But see, that's the sad part. That is the sad part. The sad part is that I did have a mom paying for my rent, and why did I not have enough money to pay my bills that I was paying?
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's the sad part.
Like you still had to manage it.
Yeah,
and I wasn't
doing that. Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
Yep. Which is crazy to think.
I know.
But I mean, you're here now. Managing it.
I know. Do you want to go to sleep?
Yeah.
No, I was going to say something and I forgot.
What are you going to say?
Do you feel like... Do you feel like you grew up too fast in your 20s?
I did.
You did? You feel like you did?
Like we mentioned, I don't know if this was in this podcast, this episode, or the last episode, but how I mentioned that like I grew up really quick and I made the joke my frontal lobe. I think that was just this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so long ago.
It was.
Okay.
It was like 20 minutes ago.
No, legit though. But yeah, I feel like in my early 20s, I went through this stage where I didn't want to drink and I didn't want to like really go out to the bars and clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was scared. And it wasn't like scared of like, I was scared of the world. I was scared of society in that moment. And I didn't want to go out. I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
I really was. And every time y'all would say like, let's go, I would get this ugly feeling in my gut. Like, I'm
like something was going to happen?
Yes. And I couldn't go. I couldn't make myself go. And there was a lot of moments where I was so worried about all that I missed out on some stuff. And I was so stressed over that one. I couldn't just let things be, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like because of that, there was like this internal fear that I built. But over time, I got rid of it and learned how to like manage it and like not care. But in those moments, I think it was like the start of anxiety and I just didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I really had to learn how to maneuver through that. And I feel like because of that, I matured a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this like, I shouldn't be doing these things. Like having fun was like against the rules.
You're right. That is true. And I will say, I feel like
I'm also not a drinker in general.
Well, I was just about to go there with that.
Okay.
He's an alcoholic now. We have to go to AA meetings every Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Every day that ends in Y.
No, I was going to say, it's weird how we're friends and we were so different in college.
Yeah.
So different. Because he's saying he didn't like to go out. He didn't like to drink. I was out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. I'm social.
Yo, very, very.
I just don't.
I'm very shy, and it's weird.
Yeah.
I liked to go out, but I was very shy.
Yeah.
And he didn't like to go out, but he would talk to everybody and his mom.
Yeah, I would. I would leave with friends.
Literally. And
that
so
I just met, yeah.
What I was going to say is, yes, you matured a lot quicker. I feel like I was still mature, doing all those things.
Yeah.
I was still like, I had a mature mindset. I feel like for our age at the time.
Yeah, you were just living carelessly. And you know what? I never thought that I never am I supposed to hold it against you, but like I never like thought to even hold it against you, only because I knew you came from a small town. So it's like I was like you were living your life. You were living your best life.
I didn't know anything about it.
Why would someone want to like say no to that?
You introduced me to my first drag queen drag show. I didn't know what drag was.
Yeah. I'll never forget they asked him like where do you live, and he was like east of Texas.
Yeah.
And he was like, the drag queen was like, where the hell is that? And he was like, Houston. He was like, motherfucker, just say that.
Yeah.
Just
I was
Houston.
like, it wasn't Houston though. But it's funny that you you said that back in the day. You wouldn't.
I know, I feel that. I know adulting. It's a lot.
Now it is.
It is.
We thought adulting back then was hard.
But it's past our bedtime.
You ain't even lying, guys. It is 9:30.
1. Oh my god, 9:31. You're gonna make me want to look at work just by doing that.
Sorry.
You make me want to grab my phone and like look at what I need to do.
I can't stand people. Anyways.
I feel that.
That's why.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I live.
So going back to what he said about him not going out then and now, I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, but you're having a lot more fun now.
Oh,
than you did back then.
For sure.
And I'm the opposite.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like to go out and I like to have a drink.
Yeah.
But I'm more of like chill.
Yeah.
And I let him drink now. Because, I mean, again, he doesn't drink like crazy. And he gets drunk very quickly.
When we say me have a drink, we mean like...
We mean like one drink.
One or two if
every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes to an hour. And so... But I like... It's not that I like to see you drink. It's not the drinking. It's I like to see that you're just letting loose. It's like, bro... The growing up, guys, if y'all would have seen him back in college, he would hesitate to take a drink. Or it'd be one drink and then like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And
it was like that.
Now it's like, we'll go out, we'll have a drink, and back then,
I had my head in the books.
That's
what it was.
Yeah, for sure. He was very scholarly. Very scholarly. But I feel like now you are, just letting loose a little bit because, and the reason I say that is because last weekend we went to a boat party last weekend, and I decided once we got there, I decided I was just not gonna drink. It just it wasn't hitting. It wasn't settling right with me. And he said he wasn't going to drink either, but I don't know. I seen you let loose, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna tell him anything. I was like, let him have fun. I'm not drinking, so I can drive back home. Thankfully, we were all good. Nothing. We didn't get like crazy or anything. But seeing you like grab a drink and then make you another drink, and then people were just like offering you shots, and you were like, fuck it. You're like, okay, I'm down. And, okay, I'm down. And just like, I'm like, I love that. I
never do that.
No. And I love to see you just step out. Just like, I just like fucking have fun.
It's funny because all my friends will be like, you're taking it, you're getting a drink.
Yes. And I'm like,
It's funny because I just went to my cousin's like birthday party, and it was at a pool party, and everyone was drinking. I didn't drink. But like, everyone was like, you don't drink? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I will, but like, I don't. Like,
he drinks socially.
I do. It's because alcohol makes me so sick. It makes me so sick. Like, so
can't say the same.
No, legit. I get like migraines. Not only do I get dehydrated, my stomach gets really upset after like the first sip. In general.
And it's crazy because it always happens. Every time we go out, it's like I had to buy him his first drink because he will not.
Yeah, I won't. Because I'm cool with not.
Right. Like, and I'm like, no, genuinely, we gotta have fun. We like let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
And last weekend we went out.
We did.
And
we did.
And things happened before we went out. And we found things out before we went out. So he was very stressed.
I was.
And he was like, okay, we really need to fucking go out. Because we had already planned we were going to go out.
Yeah.
But then after we found out what we found out, he was like, no, I got to fucking get out of here. We need to go have fun. We need to I need a drink. And I was like, bitch, you need a drink?
Yeah.
I really did.
I did.
So we got there. And let me preface by saying he doesn't do straight liquor shots. He has to like mix some like a good candy shot.
Yeah.
Or like
pineapple and
or like a green tea shot. Things like that. Like something mixed. No. We went to the bar and I was like, give me 2 tequila shots.
Yeah. I was like, we're doing bleach.
We need them.
We're doing bleach tonight.
No, literally. And he took that thing.
Yeah.
Boy, we got lit, but we had an Uber, so we were good.
Yeah,
because we don't do that. Like if we know we're gonna drink, we're just gonna take an Uber, just because like we both want to have fun and we don't want to have to worry about
and we keep
who's driving.
And if one of us is gonna drive, we make sure one of us is sober.
Yeah.
That's like the maturity we've always had, though.
Yes.
Even, like,
life. And like he said, if one of us ends up driving and we end up both drinking, one of us won't drink as much, or
we have the conversation.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation, or we'll just stay out longer, but not. Yeah. We'll stop drinking
way early,
to stop to like sober up. So, but if we know that we're too messed up, we'll leave our car there and get an Uber. Like we've done it before. Because I think the older that I get, I'm the more scared I am to like get caught drink.
It's not worth it.
No, it's guys, it is not worth it. It is not worth it.
Nor would I want to find that out.
No, I think we have. Yeah.
No, we've always maintained like some sort of sense of like, if someone's driving,
we don't take that. We don't take that lightly. That's very serious.
Yep. And I mean,
so now he lets loose.
I do let loose a little bit more.
Like, look, you're still in your 20s, so you gotta let loose.
I do, and it's like I do make sure that I have fun and stuff. I definitely have become more careless now. Yeah. Not careless, carefree.
Yeah, carefree.
Because I still have like, I still go buy things that I do and whatever.
Yeah. And see now. Did you hear that?
You just ribbit at me? He said
ribbit.
He said ribbit.
Now, I don't like to go out.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I used to go out literally, guys, every single time.
Do you remember that time when you started getting social anxiety? When you would go out?
Yeah, that all happened after COVID.
Really?
Yeah, that happened after COVID. After I was
makes sense now.
Because I started taking Phenermine. Phenermine is a weight loss pill, and that really took a toll on my mental health, and it really gave me anxiety. That's where it stemmed from.
That is where it stemmed from. But you're better now, right? A little bit.
we're still going to AA meetings.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm so sorry.
I'm like, I'm still seeing a therapist. I'm kidding.
No, legit though.
We love therapy, guys.
It's gotten better though now, right?
Yes, no, for sure. My anxiety has gotten a lot better, and
because you'd be like, we need to go.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Honestly, I would tell him, like, we'd be out and about, and I would tell him, okay, we need to go. Like, I'm done. But also too, it's funny. Well, now that you say that, again, in our 20s,
I feel like you're gonna. Okay, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna let you take this one because I know you know what I'm gonna say.
No, go ahead.
Okay, guys. So we would go out. Like, let's say we're all out, and usually we would always like during college we would like we're talking about college. Mm-hmm. We would always go out in a group, and it was always like our same group, and it was like Sweet Tea, Sierra,
Julia.
They're all thinking, why are you naming all sodas and drinks? Sweet Tea, Sierra Mist,
Julia, Poppy. Just kidding. Dr. P. Just kidding.
No, so
Dr. Pep.
We had we would always go in a group or whatever, and we would always go out and stuff. Mm-hmm. There would be a time of the night where it's like it's time to go home. Yeah. Yeah. It would. And everyone, all of my friends knew when it was time for Jesus to go home. Yeah. Everybody knew when Jesus was ready to go home. Yeah. No, literally my face.
His face. He would just stand there with like this mean face. And like me knowing him, I would have to like find a way to balance it and be like, you're ready to go home, right? And he'd be like, and I'm like, it's time to go. And
I would just be like, nah, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm ready when y'all are.
But if he stands there and you like, you pick at your nails a little bit.
Yeah, I'd just be like this, or like I'd always be on my phone.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, ready. And if it wasn't that, it's because one of us blacked out. Yeah. And you know what? I'll never forget the one time.
I blacked out.
It's funny because there was this one time we were here in Houston and we went out, and I remember telling you, like, I'm gonna black out. Like, I'm gonna black out. And you were like, no, you're fine. I was like, no. We need to leave.
I remember that.
And this guy that was trying to like flirt with him was like, you're being a bitch. And I was like, I am a bitch. Like, I am being a bitch.
I remember that.
And I was like, we need to leave.
I think that was the first time you came out here.
No.
We're not talking about that time? Yeah.
We
I took a picture of you.
Yeah. But I don't think it was my first time. But
it was like your second time?
It was like one of the
second or third time?
Yeah, somewhere up there. But like,
not of him coming like out here for like whenever I moved here to Houston.
Yeah, because we were in this apartment.
Not in this one.
Yes.
We were in the other one.
Yes. I never gone to the other one.
My old apartment?
Not in this room. Your other one. Yeah, in this building. I'm talking about the circuit.
Right.
Oh, block that out.
It's fine. The other apartment.
Yes.
My old apartment. Yes. Yeah.
But it was here.
Not this one.
So like, I've already came out to Houston a lot of times before you even had this apartment.
Yeah.
But like, it was one of the first few times coming to you with this apartment.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So, and I just remember like, we walked to the car. No, we were walking to the car and that was it. I think I woke up on the ground. I think I woke up on the ground by the car and you were getting me into the car. That's all I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the rest. Yeah. But I remember like...
Then we came back up to my...
I don't remember that.
Apartment and he had to go straight to the restroom. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. And then he jumped right into bed. And then the next day, I actually still have a video of me waking him up. And he looks up and he's like...
Still drunk.
Like, and you're like...
What happened?
You're like, I don't feel good.
I didn't.
And he just lays back down.
Yeah. That's why I don't like drinking.
Yeah. He doesn't really black out.
I don't.
But when he does,
it's gone.
It's fun.
I'm out.
I love it.
I'm out.
I love it.
Keep me away. Lock me up.
What are some things that you feel like you learned that you... What are some lessons that you learned in your 20s?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I felt like there was more.
There's gonna be more?
No, yeah. I think the one thing I learned in my 20s...
It's 6 minutes only. Are we going to have enough time?
Yeah.
6 minutes?
I think so. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll wing it and then...
Yeah.
What I learned through my 20s was 1, it's okay if people come and go into your life. 2, be brave for yourself and say what you want. And 3, don't be afraid to speak your mind on how you feel on things. Like let and it's not to argue, but it's like if there's something that bothers you or there's something that you feel like you need to communicate with, talk about it. It's kind of have to live true to yourself. There's one thing that Billie Eilish said, and I'm going to say it wrong, but I kind of hold this to heart, and I didn't think I would, but there's just something that stick to me, and this was one of them. Someone asked her, like, if everyone were to just drop dead around you, who would you be?
Exactly.
And it's like, you're not living for others. You need to live for yourself.
I know that's right.
I know that's right. And it's like, it's so true. And like, I kind of held that to heart when I heard that, because it's like, that's so true. Like, don't worry about everyone else around you. There's another quote I read that I also recently read, and I kind of hold it to heart again. And I might say it wrong, but it's, don't be afraid to live your life authentically, because the people who are looking for you need to find you. And it's kind of like this quote that says, like, for me, I take it as like, I always say that I'm weird. I'm such a weird person. And it's like, I used to be afraid of that. That used to be an insecurity of mine, but it's kind of like, I've learned to like, I need to live that. I need to live myself like authentically as much as I can, because the people who are looking for me need to find me. And like,
but also too, you like that inspires a lot of people around you to be able to be open with themselves, because they see you being so open with yourself. And I talk about myself because again, moving to San Antonio, he said, you're going to be gayer and gayer as you live here.
And again, just to preface this, we say that with love,
right? We don't mean it in that way. It's more of like, you're going to
become
know
a better person.
Exactly. You're going to know who your true self is, and you're going to be able to like be yourself no matter what people say. And he helped me a lot with that, because he's always been that person. He's always been the person where it's like, I don't care what anybody says. And if you don't like the way I dress, the way I talk, the way I say things, or the way I act, screw it. He has this thing of singing every fucking where we go. But I think it's one thing that I love the most is because I couldn't do that. Bitch, 1, I sound like a dying donkey singing. And 2, I don't know, just having that like confidence to just sing out, no matter where we are, no matter how many people are out there. He will sing.
That's so true. You know what's so funny? Sometimes I get too carried away with myself when I do things in general, and my other best friend Brie will be like, hey, we're in public. I'm like, oh yeah, we're in public.
I never said anything to you because
because if I'm gonna be embarrassed, I might as well just be embarrassed with you. I'm just kidding.
Pretty much. No, I like it. I really do. I like it.
I forget.
And
I'll do stupid stuff. Like, I can't help it. I'm like a kid at heart.
Yes.
It's funny. It is so hilarious, but
that is crazy, guys. No.
Okay, so I want to turn it back on you, and I want to ask, what are some things that you feel like you learned in your 20s?
Nothing.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
By not
learning. Yeah. I think Einstein said that.
I learned whether I was going to be a top or a bottom. Full verse. Full verse.
He said full 360.
Exactly.
He said in the ears, in the mouth, and the nose. He said if it's not whistling in the wind,
we don't want it. No, I'm kidding. I'm at it.
Oh, but seriously.
Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust myself.
I feel that.
Anyways.
Oh.
This is fun.
Yeah, it is.
Some things that I learned in my 20s. One was...
No. I'm just kidding.
It's kind of hard to say because... one big thing that I learned in my 20s was learning how to love myself. But I honestly don't think I did that the right way.
I feel like even for me, just speaking for myself, it's still a process.
Yeah. Well, I feel, but I feel like I did a lot of my self-love these last few years. But in my 20s, I feel like I learned how to set boundaries. How to say no.
Ooh.
How to say no.
How to say no.
That was big. That was big because I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser.
So I still am sometimes. I really am.
Another thing that I learned too was to, well, again, same with what you said, is to like express yourself. But I want to get into the topic of setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up. Not kidding.
I'm all, cut the cameras.
No, I feel like, and I don't want to get too big into this topic because this is going to be another,
it could be another one,
another episode.
Yeah.
But growing up in a Hispanic family, boundaries wasn't a thing.
No,
it wasn't a thing.
No.
Because you have to make sure everybody is happy.
Yeah, and everyone's also in your business.
Exactly.
And not in a bad way. Sometimes it can be in a bad way, but like.
But it is. Sometimes it is in a bad way. Sometimes,
in Hispanic culture, like.
Yeah.
There's like this theme of family.
Exactly. And it's like you can't do anything unless your family approves of it. And if they're not okay with it, you can't do it.
And everything's also very intertwined.
Right. Right. You cannot do anything without including your family's opinions in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned boundaries later in my 20s. But I will say expressing those boundaries at first made me look like the bad guy. It made me look like I was being rebellious. It made me look like I was arguing with everybody. It made me look like I didn't want to partake in anything because I would always either say no, I'm not, or just the opposite of what everybody wanted me to think or say or do.
Or what they were used to you doing.
Exactly.
But not realizing that was you pleasing them.
That too. And again, that comes with boundaries too, because moving out of that small town, coming back into that small town, people thought that I was the same person that they knew when I left. And was quick to be like, okay, let's get one thing straight here.
You're not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And gasp. My girlfriend from high school hears me. She's like, Jesus is not gay. I mean, God. He's not straight. No, but that is one thing that I had to like. Like that's one thing. That's the biggest thing I feel like I learned in my 20s, and I'm still in my 20s. We're still in our 20s, and we're still gonna learn. We're still learning.
Yeah, we're still going.
But as far as right now, I think the biggest thing is boundaries, and I never let that go. Yeah. Like a lot of times, me and my mom and my sisters, we got into a lot of like spicy arguments because of me, because of the boundaries I just set. But I'm just like, look, I am not gonna keep allowing y'all to opinionate on my life. It is my life. If you do not like it, that is your issue.
And I will say this too, and it wasn't like nothing against them, but I think like,
but it's just how we were raised.
I think looking back on it now for yourself, you were doing it for the sake of your own happiness, and you're doing it for the sake of your own sanity.
Yeah.
And even though it might have been conflicting with them, and it's not that they didn't realize it, or maybe they did, but like you were just doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I think you were in this process of like fulfilling your own love and like filling your own cup.
Exactly.
And you were looking to continue to do that.
Yeah. But also too, and I'm not going to get too much into this because I do want to make a separate one. I do want to have a different episode with this, but breaking generational curses or traumas.
Yeah, curses, I feel like.
And it's just like, you don't have to do everything your family says you have to do.
Yeah. If
you're not hurting anybody and you want to change the way you do things with your life, why not
do it?
You're not hurting anybody.
And that's why I say earlier, like,
just do it.
Live fearlessly. Like you really need to.
You know, honestly. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself, you're not doing any harm to anybody, bro, you don't have to worry about what everybody else is going to think. And keep those boundaries with your family. Again, like I said, at first I was very like, it looked like I was the black sheep of the family because I had my boundaries. And it's like, if you don't respect my boundaries, I'm dipping out.
Yeah.
No, no hate.
Yeah.
But
you were just the rainbow sheep of the family. That was all.
Yeah. I was jumping them damn clouds, counting sheep. No, I'm kidding. So, no, I'm not kidding. But I will say over the years, that was a deep voice.
He said, "Yeah, over the years, I've just been He said, "Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights on." He said, "Please, please, please.
Don't.
Heartbreak is one thing.
My ego's another.
I beg you, don't embarrass
me,
me, motherfucker."
No, I'm kidding. No, but I will say over the years.
Yeah.
Why do I say it like that? Over the years.
Over the years.
Stop. No, but I feel like the past 3 or 4 years.
You've been consistent in self-love.
Yes, but also too, I feel like my family has understood me a lot in my boundaries, and they've respected a lot of my boundaries.
Because they're used now. They're getting used to the person you're becoming today.
Exactly. And I'm glad that my mom sees that, because me and my mom had a lot of just bumping heads because of that.
Yeah. And can I say something? Actually,
yeah.
Maybe you can like agree with me, or maybe like correct me if I'm wrong, but. I mean, first things first.
I'm the realist.
Yeah. No, but change and growing, evolving is a scary thing, and not everyone's going to understand it. And it's like, and when people are all around you and they're used to the same person they see, sometimes they're against it. Yeah. But like, you truly do have good intentions behind that, and you mean good things when you do that. I will say, I used to have these two friends. We're no longer friends no more, and it's love them from afar, hope they're doing great things. But it's like, they always had this thing with me where it's like, Nate's changing. He's not the same person. He's like acting different. And it's like, I want to be though.
Yeah, why do you want me to be the same person?
Like, I don't want to be stuck in this like person that you view me as, because then you keep me the same.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to be that. And I want to grow. I want to learn. And if I'm making a mistake, okay, I will learn that over time.
I heard this quote. It's like, you knew me, but you don't know me.
Yes. And it's like, nothing against them, but I flourished a little bit more when I left that friendship. And I say that with love, but it's like, I think I was so afraid of losing them because I was afraid of losing a part of me. But when I lost that part of me, I gained this whole other person that I love who I am today so much. Yeah.
The eyes water. It made me think of something, because you're totally right. I think losing people in life, I'm not gonna cry.
It's okay.
Losing people in life makes you grow.
It does.
And
it does.
That's part of
it. Hurts.
It does.
It hurts.
It really does. It really does. It really does. But I feel like if you don't lose people in your life, you're going to stay the same person.
Yeah.
Because life is about evolving, about getting to know different people, about losing and gaining people.
Yeah.
It's just the way of life.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to put yourself where you got to think of your future self, and you got to think, how do I get to that person I want to be? And when you get there, the people who are meant to be with you are going to follow.
I was just going to say that. I will say this.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere. Look, 10 years of friendship. Look.
And we've had these conversations. We can get on our nerves. We can get tired of each other.
Right.
We'll just communicate, give each other the space, and let that be. And we'll come back when we feel ready.
Exactly. Like, no, literally.
And that's how it should be. You shouldn't like pressure somebody.
No, honestly. You know? Honestly. And I think that's why our friendship has stayed the way it's been.
Yeah.
Because and we don't have to
jump into it.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, we both had childhood best friends.
Yeah.
And we both lost them.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No. Sometimes you grow out of each other.
Sometimes you grow out, or sometimes when you grow and you start evolving, you start seeing things in that friendship that you were blind to see. And so when you start doing things for yourself and start setting those boundaries and thinking a different way, and that other friend doesn't
agree with it,
then you start noticing that the friendship has always been a one-sided thing.
Yeah. And you know what I will say? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not. There's probably things I could have maybe done to not say fix it, but
Same.
to maybe like correct myself and the things I probably should have handled better.
Yeah.
I will say at the time for me, I was going through a lot, and I think maybe they were probably too, and we were so self-consumed in whatever what was happening. But I will say, like, I don't. It's I hate to say this, but it's like I don't think they ever took me serious. So
same.
You know what I mean? So anytime I felt like anytime I ever tried to like bring up something, I was always the running joke.
Same.
Like Nate's just being Nate.
Same.
But internally, I was like hurting.
Yeah.
You know? So
and I feel
that's
like
what caused the distance from like years. But then it just
same with me too. Like the friendship ended because I started realizing that the friendship was one-sided and I cared more about you than you did me.
Yeah.
And realizing all those things, like when you realize it, then you start thinking back of your entire friendship and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah. And it's so crazy.
It was.
Like, there was moments where like I would talk to you about it. And you already know me. I'm not someone who's going to talk shit about someone. Like I don't ever do that. But like I was telling you,
only
like
Fridays.
Only on Fridays.
It's Friday.
No, but like I will tell you though, like there was moments where like I'd be like, I don't think this was okay. Like remember there was little moments in your like friendship when like I was early on your friendship.
Yeah.
I knew I had no chance to be like, I was never gonna say not be his friend.
Yeah.
I was never gonna say you should reevaluate that. But I was gonna like give you that note that like, hey, I caught this.
Yeah.
And like something seems off about it.
This is why this is not trying to get out of subject, but this is why we are friends, and this is why I am very careful with who my friends are, because I don't like yes people in my circle. And Nate and a lot of my other friends are exactly the same way. They will tell me something.
Yeah.
Not something I want to hear, but something that I need to hear.
Yeah.
If I need to hear it. Like they are straight up with me and they're like, Jesus, no, yes, you need to do this, you need to do it this way, or like I see that that's not good for you. I like those people. I don't want to go to somebody and they're like, oh my god, yes, like I understand, fuck him, fuck her. Like
no, we will break down the whole thing and we'll be like, okay, like what?
Right, we're evaluating the entire thing.
And both parties.
And I will say that friendship that I had, he knows it well. Because we actually met through that person that I'm no longer friends with. But I will say it did take a toll. It took a toll. And I think that's actually why I think that is the 2018 was whenever we had that fallout. And then that was actually, we had that fallout. And then anyways, but you knew about that relationship, that friendship, and you would say like
it was never to not call it out and say he's a terrible friend, but there was just little moments where I felt like he was taking advantage of you, and I knew like I needed to call it, I needed to say something, so at least you can take note of it and keep aware. If you try to change it, is he willing to change that with you? And I think at one point, and I only brought it up a few times, it was never like every single time.
Right.
In all actuality, I tried to give it a very big chance, even for myself, and we never even met. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
nope.
Yeah, so it's like, I didn't hear too, but it's like, I'm wishing them the best from afar. I have no
same here
animosity, bad blood.
Same here.
I don't wish you any negativity. I'm not going to.
Nope.
Honestly, it's like you're not even in my thoughts.
Right. I mean, we ended in bad terms with a disagreement, but I will never.
And it's crazy because we don't talk about this a lot.
No, we don't bring these people up.
Yeah.
I think we don't bring these people up though because, and I'm gonna get a little deep right now, but deep inside, we still. I mean, I think we still heal.
Oh, for sure. I think because it's like a breakup.
It is. It really is. I think it's harder.
I think I'm healing internally for myself.
Yes.
But like, I'm not looking for anything through them.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. And same here. I'm not going to reach out to find closure. I'm not going to reach out to talk about it because I got over it. We got over it. Mm-hmm. But it's like,
you heal from it still.
Well, because we still heal from the things that we gone through with that person. I mean, it's not, people don't just heal from one day to another, guys.
And there was good qualities within like the friendship as well. Yeah. Whether it's from you and him or me and the other person. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not like, there's things you have to learn to like let go. Mm-hmm. And there's things that you can like take and be like, I'm going to hold on to that because I like to that.
But that is one thing that I learned. That is one thing I learned in my 20s very quickly.
It's okay to let people come and go.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about Grindr, right?
No. We're not talking about the swipe left and swipe right on Tinder. No, but that is one thing I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately, is seeing people that you never thought you would see come out of your life, leave your life. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said, it's hard. It's like a breakup, and it's harder than a breakup. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's harder than a breakup.
It's harder than a relationship.
It is
like leaving that, because it's like you don't think of this person leaving.
No.
And it's like that's the possibility you go through when you're in a relationship. So like when you're in a friendship, it's like you don't think that.
No. I know, it's crazy.
It is.
But
growth is one crazy thing.
It honestly is.
And there's one thing I've always said too, is like you really don't know you're growing until you're out of it.
Yes.
So it's like, just remember that. Like if you think you're growing, you're not. You wouldn't think you're growing when you're growing. It hurts.
Yeah.
Growing pains. Growing pains. So it's like, but this is a pretty good.
This is a good episode, but before we wrap up, we do have a story to tell y'all. Mm-hmm. And the reason we're telling y'all this story, if y'all forgot, because we did talk about it a long time, is because you realize who your true friends are in difficult situations. So last weekend we went to a boat party in Austin, and we were surrounded just by a lot of people, a lot of people. And we were out, we were drinking and stuff. And again, I didn't drink.
Yeah.
I had like one drink and it just didn't sit right with me.
Honestly, like not even half a cup.
Yeah. I really didn't even finish the drink. And we were like up on the top of the boat and then down and then just like all around. It was in the heat all day. And
you are on a medication.
Yeah. So I'm taking Manjaro to lose weight. And so that doesn't make me eat. Anyways, we're not going to go with that. We're not going to go into detail with that. But anyways, I was taking this and I hadn't eaten really at all that day. Yeah. We ate like once. Mm-hmm. And
mind you, that was his like one time eating in like
a week. No,
like 2 days. Not even 2 days, but like.
No, like a whole day.
Yeah.
A whole day. And I also wasn't drinking a lot of water. I do drink a lot of water here at home, but whenever I'm traveling and stuff, it's like I forget.
Yeah.
And so we got to the boat party and we were, I was out there. It was a great time. But there came to a point where I sat down and I look up at Nate and I'm like, I am not feeling good. Yeah. I was like, come just sit down with me. And he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I feel like I'm about to pass out. And guys, I've had these episodes growing up. And
never seen them.
Right. He's never seen them. So to him, it was like he was freaking the fuck out. But to me, it's like, to me, it's like, I know what's going to happen, so I'm letting you know what's going to happen to prepare you. And so I was like, just sit down right here. I don't feel good. And when I was doing that and like, I leaned forward to like, just like prop my head like that, just to see if I can, come back. Yeah. Well, prior to that, the captain of the boat was telling us, like giving us rules on like, hey guys, don't black out, don't throw up, don't do all the crazy shit because we're gonna have to turn the boat around and blah blah blah. But she said, get fucked up and have a great time, but just don't be wilding out. Yeah. So me feeling sick, not drinking, this random ass fucking dude comes up to me. He wasn't even like the host of the party.
Can I like
go ahead,
chop in real quick? Yeah. So he ends up getting sick and the whole fainting thing, and he throws up, right? And it wasn't like terrible or anything. It was small too. It wasn't like intense. I quickly got up and went up to the lady and was like, he's not drunk.
Right. Well, even when after I threw up, I went up to the lady too and I was like, well, because I needed a napkin to like clean myself up. Thankfully, I didn't get dirty.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have not been drinking. I just don't feel good. And she's like, no, I see it. You just look really pale. And
And we warned her. We're like, no, like he hasn't drank.
Like I haven't drank. It's just I don't know if it's motion sickness or what the fuck it was. And so I sat down. She gave me a cold bottle of water, and as I was sitting down right here, and the captain like is right here talking to me, and Nate was right here talking to me, and the guy
he comes up
and he's like, "See, now we're leaving because of you," and I was like, "The fuck?
Yeah,
nah." And
also, sorry, can I cut in again?
Go ahead.
She also told us when that happened, and when I went up to her, she was like, "It's okay, we're leaving anyways." Like,
yeah.
She's like, "It's time for us to go."
Right.
Like, the party ends at 7:30.
When I threw up, while all this was happening, the other two men that were working there were already pulling in the ropes to go home because the captain said, "We're leaving anyways. It's already our time to go." So he says, he's like, "Well, because of you, we're leaving. Look at us. Now we have to go." And I was like, it ain't because of me. And so she was like, "Well, wait, what's going on?" And I was like, he thinks that we're leaving because of what happened. And she went flip shit crazy. Like, she got upset.
Yeah, she did.
But prior to that, and this is where I'm going with the whole friend thing, prior to that, our friend Sierra and Nate as well. Sierra is like 4'9". The bitch is small. But
she's 4'9", but her personality is like a
fucking
7'1".
Chihuahua. Yeah. She'll go from 0 to 100 real quick. And before that, while I was not feeling good and at the process of me passing out, he commented and was like, "Bro, you need to take that to the restroom because if they see you doing this, we're gonna have to go back."
You know what's crazy?
You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that.
See, I was over here stroking out and I heard that. And
that's crazy.
I was like, "Bitch, I don't give a fuck about your party." It wasn't even his party. It was this other girl's party.
Yeah.
This other girl, not his girl. This other girl. And so anyways, fast forward to the lady. She heard or she didn't hear what he said, but I then responded to him and I was like, "We're not leaving because of me." And so she went over there. But before she went over there, our friend Sierra and you went over there. Did you go over there?
I did go over there.
Yeah. But Sierra went over there first and she was like, "Bitch, we're not fucking leaving because of him. He's on fucking medication and he just doesn't feel good right now. Like he wasn't even fucking drinking."
And the girl, let's just also say that the worker, whoever she was, the main one.
Yeah. The captain.
The captain did say, like, "We're not leaving." She told us, like, "We're not leaving because of you."
Right. Yeah. Like, she was like, "Wait, we're not leaving because of you. It's like, it's time to go." So so she goes up to him and she's like, I guess he was still like talking. And what happened?
He honestly was very upset. He was like, "Well, then why did they turn on the boat? Why did they?" And I was like, "I'm telling you now, we just talked to her. Like, we're not leaving."
Right.
And I wasn't trying to argue with him, nor did I care to, but it was more like, I'm just trying to let you know, like, I don't want you to blame us. This is not what's happening. Like,
exactly.
No, we confirmed with her, like, we're leaving because she says it's time. Like, she has it on her, I guess, whatever, her computer that was showing it. And then they ended up getting it situated.
Yeah, but come to find, well, then the lady.
Because I told the lady, I was like, "Can you talk to him and let him know, like, this?"
And then she was like, "Well, if he shuts the fuck up."
Yeah, she literally said that. She was like, "I'm trying to, but this guy won't shut the fuck up."
Yeah, but right in front of him, like, he heard what she said. And so,
even if he didn't, I'm like, she did not care.
And then
she was blunt.
She was. And then come to find out, we weren't supposed to leave at 7:30. The girl that rented out the boat party
Such
went.
A sweetheart.
Yeah, she was.
She's so sweet.
She went up to the captain and was like, "Hey, wait, we're not leaving at 7:30. I got it till 8:30." So there was a mix-up, but it wasn't because of me. Everything happened coincidentally, and it looked like it was my fault. But actually, the captain had the wrong time of leaving. Where we were.
And they got it sorted out.
And they got it sorted out, and we stayed. But the entire time, the motherfucker looked stupid as fuck. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't because of fucking me.
And I even said, like, an apology would have been nice.
Right.
Because like he came up to us and was like, "It's like y'all's fault."
Exactly.
You know, and it's like,
and I kept looking at that motherfucker like, "Bitch," and now that's why you look stupid sitting there.
Like, that wasn't fair.
No, it wasn't fair. It wasn't because you don't know what the fuck is going on.
And I was kind of hurt by that a little bit. I was like, what? Like,
and it's funny because everybody ended up finding out what the fuck was happening because this was a big boat, so not everybody knew what was happening at the time that it was happening, but everybody ended up finding out before we ended up getting off the boat. But everybody was so nice and kind and was asking me like, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything okay?" The birthday girl too, she was like, "Hey, is everything good? Like, are you okay?" I didn't even know half of these. I knew 3 people on that fucking boat, 4 people on that fucking boat. There was 50 motherfuckers on that boat.
Yeah, and they were
all so nice about it, except for that fucking dick.
Yeah,
I can't stand him. True, but fuck you.
But it's just like, yeah, it definitely was like a moment of like, so I get that though. So,
but
more of the story, we had his back, and we were like, no, we're gonna defend him because we knew it wasn't because of us.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, and even if it was his fault, like I'm more concerned about your health,
right,
and making sure you're okay than the boat. And there was only 20 minutes left.
Literally, bro. What are you gonna do?
Even going to 8:30, it was like only 20 minutes left.
Right.
So it was kind of like at that point when everything subsided, we had your back. We got you. Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah.
But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and we will catch y'all on the next one. If y'all have any ideas or comments that y'all want to comment below, please comment below and let us know some topics y'all want us to talk about. And we will see y'all on the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys. That was good.